Hi, I'm Joanna Chan, and today we're going to be talking with Derek Ralston about his new book, Transformational Fasting. Reconnect with yourself, get healthy, and find your purpose. Derek, congratulations on releasing your book. I found transformational fasting to be a refreshing change of pace from the popular narrative of fasting for fitness only. I foresee this book serving as a no nonsense guide for readers interested in fasting for personal transformation. Now, let's jump right in with the questions. So, what inspired you to write this book?
Well, 4 years ago, my reality had come unglued. My long term relationship came to an end, and I was laid off of my job at nearly the same time. So I wasn't sure what to do next, and I needed a bridge to the next phase of my life as a way to really work through things and get to the other side. So at that point, I decided to walk the Camino de Santiago, which is a 500-mile pilgrimage across Spain. I had an amazing time, and when I returned from that trip, I felt more connected and human than I had ever before. I slowly reintegrated with day to day life, and I realized that to keep that sense of connection I felt, I needed a practice that mimicked going on a journey like my pilgrimage. That's when I discovered transformational fasting. So I've been experimenting with transformational fasting ever since then. And after a 4-day fast earlier this year, I felt a surge of creative energy that I hadn't felt in a long time. At that point, I started writing a blog post about my experiences, and I ended up having much more to say than I could fit in a single post. So I decided to write a book instead. I'm really excited for this book to get out there in the world, and I think it could help a lot of people. Maybe people who are already familiar with intermittent fasting, yoga, meditation, and they're seeking a deeper transformation, especially anyone that's out there feeling disconnected from themselves or maybe stuck in life. So if even one person reads this book and it changes their life for the better, it was worth writing for me.
Wow, that's quite the journey you went on to get to this point. Can you tell us more about your book?
Sure. So when I think about transformational fasting, the Spider-Man quote comes to mind: "With great power comes great responsibility." Fasting, especially multi-day fasting, is a powerful healing practice. And with that power comes great responsibility. So you need to approach it with careful planning and consideration of the risks involved. This book walks you through all the steps and potential risks, and even has a checklist to make sure you don't forget something as you plan for your fast. At its core, the book is a guide for using fasting to transform your life. And it's a book I would have liked to have when I first learned about fasting. So I pulled together lots of ideas from my own fasting experiences, research, and mindfulness practices, and training that I found to be synergistic with fasting. The book also pays homage to my 3 favorite books and authors, which are The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. While the book covers all types of fast, it focuses primarily on transformational fasting, which is when you go on a fast of 3 days or longer with the intention of transformation in the physical, emotional, and spiritual parts of yourself. So the book starts with a general overview of fasting, what's going on in the body, what to look out for, as well as some of my learnings from earlier transformational fasts. Next, it tells you exactly how to prepare for your own fast in an intentional way. Then it tells you how to fast consciously, as well as how to spend your time during the fast. And finally, the book tells you how to break your fast and reflect and reintegrate with the world.
I love that Spider-Man quote, and The Four Agreements is also one of my favorite books. Moving on to our next question. What did you learn when writing the book?
Well, I've been practicing transformational fasting for the last 4 years, so a lot of the learnings were captured during my previous transformational fast and the research I did around those. One of the most interesting things I learned while researching the book was around this Native American tradition of going on a vision quest. When researching the book, I read Stephen Foster's book, Vision Quest, which goes very deep into this topic. But essentially, this is a rite of passage where a young man goes alone into nature and fasts for 4 days and nights for the purpose of seeking a vision. So during my own fasting experiments, I didn't actually go on a vision quest in nature, but I would love to do that someday. So instead, I mimicked some of the rituals I learned about in my own home space.
Oh, yeah. Going on a vision quest could be very exciting, but also scary, since you would be alone in nature during that time. For the next question, I'm really curious about what inspired you the most while writing this book.
One of the things I learned when writing the book was just how uncommon it is for someone to go on a multi day fast in our modern world. So, anytime I mentioned my experiments with fasts of 3 days or longer to friends or family, people were amazed and maybe a little intimidated. And this is where I really think my book can help as an accessible guide to those new to going on multi day fasts. So, like I said earlier, fasting is a very powerful tool, but it helps if you do your homework and you plan out your time before going on a longer fast.
I hear you there. I've gotten a similar response from friends and family after completing my first 3-day fast. Okay, next question. What does the book's title mean?
Sure, the title is Transformational Fasting, which means to fast with intention of transforming your life. And the subtitle is Reconnect with Yourself, Get Healthy, and Find Your Purpose. Reconnect with yourself refers to the emotional healing of fasting. For example, maybe you use food to make negative feelings go away. So fasting is an opportunity to see what lies beyond those feelings. Get Healthy is about the physical healing aspect of fasting. For example, if you have any illnesses that are troubling you, or weight you'd like to lose, fasting can help in those areas as well. And finally, Find Your Purpose is about the spiritual healing of fasting. So for example, maybe you'd like to identify your higher purpose and begin taking steps towards fulfilling that. Fasting can help in this area.
Thanks for breaking that down. I can tell a lot of thought went into the book's title. For our last question, I'm curious to know, what will you write about next?
Honestly, I have no idea what I'll write about next. I wasn't even planning to write this book, so we'll see.
Thanks so much for the chat, Derek. This was very informative.
These were great questions. Thank you.